Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking something truly fascinating. We're looking at exactly how a 170-year-old global heritage brand, the brand that literally invented the blue jean, managed to successfully localize its entire strategy to become the ultimate cool kid in India's hyper-competitive, youth-driven apparel market. Whether you're building a brand yourself or you just really love fashion, there is an absolute masterclass in adaptation here. So, if you want to understand how a classic legacy brand completely reinvents itself without losing its soul, let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this with a number that might actually blow your mind a little bit. Sixth, India has absolutely exploded in post-pandemic growth to become Levi's sixth largest market globally. Actually, scratch that, it's even bigger than that implies. It is currently their largest market in all of Asia. Revenue is sitting significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels, but how did they achieve this massive surge? Well, it wasn't just by doing the same old thing. It required a fundamental shift in how they understood the Indian consumer, which is of course driven by a massive youth population and rising disposable incomes.
You see, the whole narrative around denim had to totally change. Think about it. Pre-pandemic, jeans were viewed purely through the lens of utility. They were sturdy workwear, the reliable pants you just threw on without even thinking. But post-pandemic, the consumer mindset shifted dramatically towards lifestyle, comfort, and self-expression. And Levi's recognized this right away. They repositioned their denim in India not just as functional clothing, but as a comfortable, performance-driven canvas for personal style. They made jeans all about individuality rather than just pure durability.
Section 1. Targeting Gen Z and Millennials. The demographic pivot.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how, to pull off this lifestyle repositioning, Levi's had to completely rethink who they were talking to. They focused heavily on fashion-forward, urban millennials and Gen Z in that core 20 to 30 age group. Just notice this massive shift in their gender demographic. Historically, denim has often leaned pretty heavily male in certain markets. But look at this growth. Levi's deliberate strategy to expand aggressively into women's wear saw their women's business share in India jump from roughly 20% to 30%. That is a massive leap in market share. They accelerated their investment in women's denim and crafted storytelling that deeply resonated with progressive, self-defined female consumers across both metros and emerging cities.
Section 2. Beyond the Classic 501. The product evolution.
So we know who they're targeting, right? But what are they actually selling them? How exactly does a brand famous for classic, rigid workwear adapt to modern, comfort-seeking youth tastes while still honoring its heritage icons? Well, the secret is balancing the timeless with the timely. On one hand, you have the absolute anchor of the classic 501s. But then look at the pivot over here. Gen Z demands comfort. They want relaxed, baggy silhouettes, so Levi's aggressively rolled out new styles like the cinch waist, loose boot, and high loose fits. They didn't abandon their core strength in bottoms, they just evolved it to match the exact trend preferences of today's younger consumers who prioritize that relaxed, baggy aesthetic.
But great fits just aren't enough if they don't work locally. So Levi's leaned hard into a brilliant localization strategy. First, they specifically adapted products for the Indian climate and Indian body types. Second, they fully embraced personalization. Through in-store tailor shops, consumers can get custom embroidery or distressing, making the garment uniquely theirs. And finally, they expanded into a full lifestyle brand. They pushed tops, trucker jackets, and non-denim casual wear, and it worked perfectly. India actually shows a higher tops-to-bottoms ratio for Levi's than many other global markets, which significantly increases their average basket size.
Section 3. Stores, Stars, and Stories. The experiential play.
Let's move on and see how this all builds into their physical and cultural footprint through a direct-to-consumer first approach. Levi's didn't just want to be sitting in multi-brand outlets, they wanted to totally own the customer experience. Just look at the 9,150 square foot Pacific Mall store in Delhi. This isn't just a big store, it's one of their largest globally and literally Asia's largest mall store. These massive icon flagship formats offer elevated, really immersive retail experiences, complete with those tailor shops we just talked about, driving much higher engagement and conversion rates.
So the really crucial point here is, how do they sell all this without just racing to the bottom on price? They do it by strictly maintaining a premium to mid-premium positioning. Notice how the accessible entry point is around 1,300 rupees, and it scales all the way up to high-end styles over 7,000 rupees. But instead of relying on cheap, frequent discounting to drive sales, which a lot of brands do, Levi's communicates value through quality, durability, and their incredible heritage. This disciplined approach supports very healthy margins while keeping them super competitive against both international and local brands.
Now, to justify that kind of premium pricing, the marketing literally has to be flawless.
Behind every original, this campaign quote perfectly captures how Levi's India balances global brand equity with deep cultural relevance. Their promotion strategy focuses heavily on themes of authenticity, individuality, and comfort. Campaigns like this one, or Easy and Levi's, ensure that the brand doesn't just feel like some foreign import, it feels like a natural, integral part of the Indian consumer's personal journey.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how they achieve that cultural relevance. They didn't just hire standard fashion models, they partnered with massive cultural icons. You have Deepika Padukone as a global ambassador. You have Alia Bhatt starring in those major Behind Every Original campaigns, highlighting the new relaxed fits. And they tapped Diltit Dosanjh as their first Punjabi artist ambassador, integrating seamlessly with his tours and fan merch. They are really leveraging digital-first engagement and true cultural aspiration to connect with the youth on platforms like Instagram and YouTube.
Section 4. Winning the Fast Fashion War, the Climax. Of course, no strategy exists in a vacuum, right? So let's shift our focus to the looming threats and challenges in the market. Levi's is up against intense competition from fast fashion giants like Zara and H&M. These competitors are ruthless when it comes to trend speed and rock-bottom pricing. Levi's cannot, and strategically will not, beat them at the cheap and fast game. Instead, Levi's leverages its core strength, 170 years of authenticity, unparalleled durability, and massive brand equity. They counter the speed of fast fashion by offering timelessness combined with just enough trend-aligned product, like those baggy fits we discussed, to stay hyper-relevant.
Which leaves us with this final, pretty provocative thought to end our explainer today. Can a 170-year-old heritage brand continue to outpace the ruthless speed of modern fast fashion? Levi's India has provided a remarkable blueprint here, by fiercely protecting its premium heritage while simultaneously localizing its fits, building massive immersive stores, and teaming up with the biggest cultural icons of the generation. It's a delicate, brilliant balancing act. But as consumer tastes continue to evolve at lightning speed, how will legacy brands keep up? It's definitely something to think about the next time you pull on your favorite pair of jeans. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the strategies behind the brands you wear.